Okay, I believe Mr. Das Gupta is yet to join us here. Uh, Otherwise, okay. So all of us are here now. I'll just quickly take a go ahead from my tech team and start the webinar.
Yeah,
Hi,
set from my end.
Seth. Have you started the webinar or do I need to click on the start?
It started.
All right, perfect. So, a very good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of Solar Quarter and the First View Group, I'm Ella, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to today's high impact webinar on technology, forecasting, and digital solutions for scalable solar growth in Bangladesh. Truly delighted to have you with us for what promises to be a thought provoking and forward looking discussion. Today's session brings together distinguished leaders from across the renewable energy value chain, uniting policymakers, developers, investors, and technologists to shape a greener and more resilient energy future for Bangladesh. Before we begin, let me take a moment to set the stage for today's engaging dialogue. As Bangladesh advances towards a cleaner and more resilient energy future, the integration of technology, forecasting tools, and digital solutions is essential for unlocking the full potential of solar power. From improving project design and implementation to optimizing generation and O&M, digital innovation is now central to building smarter, scalable, and bankable solar projects. This high impact webinar brings together technology leaders, policymakers, developers, digital solution providers, EPCs, and financiers to explore how intelligent systems and data driven strategies can accelerate the deployment and performance of solar projects in Bangladesh. Before we move ahead, I'm pleased to share an exciting announcement. We are thrilled to announce the Bangladesh Clean Energy Week 2025, which will be held on September 23rd in the Western Dhaka in Bangladesh. With the government of Bangladesh targeting 40% clean energy in power generation by 2041, including 10% from renewables and 9 gigawatt of cross-border clean power imports, this landmark event comes at a pivotal moment. The Bangladesh Clean Energy Week 2025 aims to be a catalytic platform to accelerate this transformation, featuring top tier participation from over 200 plus senior stakeholders, including government officials, developers, EPC companies, financiers, OEMs, and solution providers. The event will foster deep, actionable conversations through focused agenda sessions and collaborative networking. We warmly invite you to be a part of this dynamic gathering and contribute to shaping Bangladesh's clean energy future. Whether you're a policymaker, industry leader, or investor, your voice matters. Let's now take a quick look at the event teaser. May I now request my team to kindly play the event video. Thank you, team, for that preview into our event. Now, let's dive into the heart of today's session, our panel discussion. So a quick reminder to all our attendees, we will have a live Q&A session at the end. So please feel free to submit your questions anytime through the Q&A box. So without any further ado, let me introduce our esteemed panel of speakers. We have with us Engineer Mohammad Mohin Habib, Executive Director, Green Engineering Limited, Mr. Ranadev Das Gupta, Director Technical, Solar EPC Development Limited. Mr. Imran Chaudhary, Deputy Director, Team Asia from International Business Development from IBVOGT APAC. Engineer Mohammad Nasiruddin Biswas, Head of Business Development, Rahim Mafrouz Renewable Energy Limited. And moderating the discussion today is Mr. Zahidul Alam, Senior Vice President, Bangladesh Sustainable and Renewable Energy Association. A warm welcome to all our panelists, and over to you, Mr. Alam.
Thank you, Ms. Ahla Khan. Now I'd like to take this from you and just carry on. So good afternoon, everyone. Am I loud and clear, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to Solar Quarter for organizing this timely and important webinar, and also for inviting me as a moderator to share my thoughts on technology, forecasting, and digital solution for scalable solar growth in Bangladesh. As you all know, that Bangladesh is a very exciting juncture in its energy journey. Over the last few decades, we have been seeing tremendous progress in electrification. However, a slow solar progress, especially in solar IPP and rooftop sector. However, we have initially at the beginning of 2000, some good progress is to take place in solar home systems, and for the last few years, few big projects on utility scale projects also have been done, and after that, still some few challenges are still there, but still progress was significant, especially from the last couple of years, I should say. However, as we move on into the next phase of growth, the challenges are no longer all only for the solar access and the energy access. It also about the scale and efficiency and resilience and sustainability. And this is where digital solutions and forecasting come into play. And today in this webinar, we'll mostly discuss on this arena. So just before I would begin with the moderator, with the speakers, as a moderator, I would like to share some of my thoughts regarding the role of digital solutions. So when we talk about the scaling solar, one of the biggest barriers we face is the operational complexity. We all know that. So solar energy is inherently invariable, so it depends on the sun. We all know that, which is not always predictable, right? So digital solutions are the key bridging this gap between the variability and reliability. So in that challenges, we can introduce some smart technologies. For example, smart monitoring and analytics we can introduce. So today, digital monitoring platforms equipped with IoT sensors, which can track every single panel's performance in real time. For a country like Bangladesh, where land is limited and every megawatt counts, right? So maximizing output per square meter is very crucial for us. So digital platforms enable predictive maintenance, identifying faults before they cause downtime, reducing losses, and improving plant availability. Then we can introduce AI and machine learning in solar forecasting, especially artificial intelligence. This is the modern world. Everybody is now relying on the AI. This AI can also can help us to process huge amounts of meteorological and satellite data to generate highly accurate solar generation forecast. This forecast will not only help plant operators, but also for grid operators, ensuring the solar power is smoothly integrated into the national grid without causing any imbalances. So then comes digital twins for solar plants. Imagine having a digital replica of an entire solar plant where operators can simulate performance under different weather conditions, identifying weakness and the optimized output. So digital twin technology is already being used in advanced solar markets, we all know. So it has tremendous potential for Bangladesh as well. So then the blockchain for energy trading, we know that looking further ahead, the blockchain-based digital platforms could enable peer-to-peer solar energy trading. So these would allow our households, business, and even microgrids to buy and sell solar electricity directly, empowering communities and making energy access more democratic. So the importance of forecasting is also very crucial because forecasting deserves special mention about the directly address the challenge of the solar intermittency. So short-term forecasting is needed. So helps which will help the grid operators to balance supply and demand on a daily basis in Bangladesh, where we all still spending our transmission infrastructure. Accurate short-term solar forecast can prevent grid instability and blackouts. So then for the medium forecasting, it guides utilities in scheduling the backup generation, ensuring our fossil fuel plants are used on not only when it's necessary, but also it will save our cost and reducing carbon emissions. And the long-term forecasting also support the policymakers and the investors by predicting future solar capacity, cost, and reduce availability. So for opportunities in Bangladesh, Bangladesh has a unique advantage. It can leapfrog into digital fast solar deployment without being constrained by legacy systems. For example, integration with national digital infrastructure. Our growing ICT ecosystem can support centralized digital platforms for solar monitoring, creating synergies between the energy and technology sectors. So having said that, I would like to uh, go with Mr. Moin Habib, who is the executive director of Engine Engineering Limited. So I would like to know from him regarding the smart compatibility. We all know that there's a role of inverter, storage, and communication systems are needed. So could you please discuss how advanced inverters, hybrid configurations, and energy storage contribute to the system stability and load shedding and remote grid control for solar system? Mr. Moinawi, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Jadul Alambai. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for participating and listening to us. Thanks, Solar Quarter, for organizing this webinar and invited me as a panel speaker. Our today's webinar agenda is basically related to technology forecasting and digital solutions that Jait Bhai already mentioned it for scalable solar growth in Bangladesh. We know the potentiality is there. Definitely, we are discussing each and every moment actually our target that country unit Bangladesh wants to achieve. Although we have the ambitious target that we know, but still we're trying. We from all EPC corners, from all suppliers, from everyone, from government and private organization, everybody is trying to focus on this to meet the target. And refer to this, I wish to discuss about smart grid compatibility, because basically the role of advanced inverters, storage, and communication system. These three parameters are the main thing that we need to concentrate. Regardless, any grid solar project that we know is definitely related to the using of good quality inverter equipment. There is no compromise about that, right? And smart grid compatibility in solar systems is significantly enhanced by advanced inverter. That is a modern technology that we have to use, energy storage, and communication system. Advanced inverter coupled with energy storage enabled by directional power flow that we know, voltage regulation, and seamless grid integration. And advanced communication systems facilitate real-time monitoring, data exchange, and remote management. That is the most important, crucial. What's happening to your solar energy? Solar energy is degrading, it's increasing or decaying. So we need to go for the remote management all the times. And optimizing performance and grid stability is connected with that. So if we go for the detailed breakdown, that if we look at the functionality of advanced inverter, how it's contributing to our solar growth in Bangladesh and so on. First of all, it comes a couple of functionality that number one is beyond simple conversion. Modern inverters do more than just convert DC power from solar panels to AC for household use. They incorporate advanced power electronics, including silicon carbide and gallium nitride semiconductors, which improved efficiency and reduced losses. Next, number 2 point is grid support functions. Basically, advanced inverters can provide grid services like voltage and frequency regulation, reactive power support, and ride-through capability during grid disturbance, if any is there. Next point could be smart grid integration. Advanced inverters enabled by directional power flow. allowing them to both draw power from the grid and send excess solar energy back to it. So that we, each and everyone know, and basically we're trying to promote for the rooftop solar cases, the industry and so on, they can use it and they can get the excess solar to the grid. And the next point could be remote management and monitoring. This type of inverter offer real-time monitoring, data analytics, and predictive maintenance capabilities, allowing for remote management and optimization of the solar system and the grid. Now, let's have a look at the function of energy storage that we know. So if we look into the functionality, that number one can be capturing excess energy. Batteries store excess solar energy generated during peak production, making it available during periods of low sunlight or high demand when it is there. Next could be improved self-consumption and grid support. By storing and releasing energy, batteries enhance self-consumption of solar power and provide grid support services like peak shaving and load shifting. These two major important things. If we look into the next, that backup power. In the event of a grid outage, solar plus battery systems can provide backup power to the home if it is properly designed. Simple. Now, we have done the advanced inverter parts. We have done also the storage energy systems, right? And now if we look into the communication system, that the functionality, what do we have? Modern technology, how they can contribute for these communication systems, right? So we can say that real-time monitoring and control, that is the most important. Then modern communication systems, advanced technology with AI and so on, artificial intelligence, that can enable real-time monitoring of solar system performance, which is very crucial for as part of the remote management and grid conditions and energy consumption. So with the help of AI, we can see the system performance, grid conditions, and energy consumption, everything. Next point could be data exchange and analysis. Basically, modern communication systems, they facilitate the exchange of data between inverters, storage systems, and the grid, allowing for optimized operation and efficient grid management happens in this way, okay? The next could be remote management and control that we told earlier even, that smart communication systems that could enable remote management of the solar system, including adjusting power output whenever it is requires, troubleshooting issues, and updating software whenever it needs. Simple. Next could be cybersecurity. That is one of the important part, that advanced communication systems incorporate security features to protect against potential threats and ensure the reliability of grid communication. Okay. So now, if we look into the overall, the benefits of smart grid that we are telling, we're discussing about the smart grid systems in the renewable energy part, solar part. So if you look into that, it could be a couple of things, enhanced reliability. By providing grid services and enabling better management of distributed energy resources, smart grids enhance the overall reliability of the power system. And the next could be increased efficiency. Smart grids optimize energy flow, reducing waste and improving the efficiency of the entire power system. And greater resilience is another part. By integrating renewable energy sources and enabling distributed generation, smart grids make the power system more resilient to disruptions. And finally, cost reduction. If you look, smart grid technologies can help reduce energy cost for consumers and utilities. Therefore, in essence, we can say that advanced inverter, energy storage, and communication system, these three, with the help of AI, artificial intelligence, are the very crucial components of a smart grid compatible solar system that could enabling efficient, reliable, and sustainable energy management. And that is the heart of the things that we are thinking, and we all, whoever is engaging from EPC suppliers, we always focus on these. Whenever we offer to our customer, solar systems, that we always think that how we could do it more modernized and more system management and remote control. That is the key of the things. And that's all for today. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moin Habib, for enlightening us on especially peak saving and load shifting. We all know that when ESS, energy storage system, will come into play in Bangladesh market, the peak shaving and load shifting will be more easy for us. So we hope to see more ESS also in near future in Bangladesh market. So also you have emphasized on the real-time monitoring and remote management and troubleshooting issues, and definitely also in future the smart grid will play a pivotal role. So let's hope for the best. And now I would like to go to Mr. Ranadev Dasgupta, the Director Technical, Solar EPC Development Limited. Mr. Rana, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So welcome. Here. So could you please tell us that we all are aware that streaming site assessment and approvals using digital tools are very much important, but how it will focus on GIS mapping, remote inspections, and digital documentation also can shorten site feasibility and regulatory approval in timelines. Could you
Oh,
please
thank you.
enlighten us?
Thank you so much for the question, and I would like to thank Solar Quarter for picking me up for one of the speakers, and I really feel honored to be a speaker in back-to-back webinars of Solar webinar this time. So it's a really interesting question that you have asked. I personally worked with GIS, and I used, from 2015, I used GIS to do feasibility studies, both in Bangladesh and abroad. So let me focus on two tools that directly, shorten feasibility studies and regulatory timelines. Let me shed some lights on GIS first. When we used to do feasibility the old ways, like it means multiple surveys, soil, flood situation, slope, land ownership, protected areas, and each survey takes time. We all know. Often finding contracts contradicts others. We all know in Bangladesh, land is a very big issue. With GIS, we can bring all of that into a single layered map, and slope, soil, flood zones, grid nodes, and then land tenure. In hours, we can screen 80% of unsuitable land and focus only on the viable, parcels. That's week saved actually in feasibility. For regulators, a GIS packet is powerful because it pre-answers actually their first questions. Is it in a flood zone? Is it near protected land? Is the grid close by, close enough? That means fewer queries, fewer resubmissions, and faster movement into the approval stage. And now comes the digital documentation. Basically, we need to take permissions from so many authorities, right, for a IPP project. And
Yes.
yeah, this is where regulatory timelines really shrink, I think, because traditionally every agency asks for its own forms or its own signature or its own version of drawings. So that leads to missing pages, outdated versions, and we lose too much of time for this. And with digital documentations, we actually create one dossier that all stakeholders can access. One form which actually answers everything. And with actually, built-in checks make sure no form is incomplete before submission. I'm talking about the authorities. E-signature and audit trails, exactly who signed what and when. So sometimes we need to chase people to sign papers and a missing stamp. We all are very like someone like Nasir Bhai, he knows how painful it is to work with authorities, I'm sure.
Yes.
Now, together, GIS and digital documentation can create a continuous pipeline. Like GIS makes feasibility faster and more evidence-based, And while the digital documentation makes the regulatory review smoother and traceable, this is what they actually always look for. If it is traceable, I mean, you understand, I mean, the documents are not always authentic in Bangladesh. So this can be done in quite a nice way. The result is not just speed, it's also higher confidence, because everyone is working off the same verified data, all the authorities, I mean. So, but the problem is, of course, adopting GIS and digital documentation isn't just developers' work. Authorities also need time to adapt. So the first step is to let them familiarize with all these technologies. GIS is very highly technical thing. So regulators need short training or pilot projects to see how GIS works. Layer and digital dossiers work actually. When a when a regulator opens a packet and immediately sees flood zones, land tenure, and grid corridors in one map, it builds confidence that they are not missing anything. This is very important actually. The second step, is that the parallel use. Like, we stick to the original process, like documentation and all, and parallelly we can do the GIS and digital documentations together, so that they actually can compare how the digital one and GIS is performing. Obviously, GIS and the digital one will perform better, and they will find it in time. They will find it that it is way better to handle data in digital way, and for mapping, for feasibility study, GIS is the best to use. And in this way, they don't feel forced to change overnight. This is very important. Authorities and organizations, they do not actually welcome any change. So if we do these two in parallel, they will not feel that they are forced to change overnight. This is very important. Once they experience how much easier it is to review digital packets, the paper process naturally fades out into the background. Obviously, the third step can be standardization. Agencies can publish a simple checklist what GIS layer must be included. I mean, in GIS, we do have several layers in map. So if we can standardize that these layers must be there, so then it will be easier for to introduce this sort of system, and this will create consistency across applications. So reviewers know exactly what to look for. So finally, basically, authorities can build trust through pilots. Piloting can be done. Start with a small. Since we know that some tender, I mean, small solar PV projects are coming in tender. They can try it here. I mean, in small scale. A few solar projects, and if few solar projects or infrastructure sites or GIS and digital dossiers are required. So so the adaptation path is not about radical change. Actually, it is about learning, running parallel systems, and gradually standardizing the procedure. So the result is permitting process will be faster. Everybody has suffered for very long. It takes ages to happen something here. So it is in a nutshell. We can say that GIS and digital documentation shorten feasibility and regulatory timeline, and how authorities can practically adapt so that benefits actually happen. The way I have actually planned myself for this. Thank you. I think that's that gives you an idea about how we should go for it.
Yeah, thank you, Rana Bhai, for sharing the importance of GIS mapping, and also I hope that it will help us to connecting the dots, and as well as we'll have some sort of one door solutions, as you say. So now I would like to um, go to Mr. Imran Chaudhary, Deputy Director, International Business Development, IBBOT of Asia Pacific region. Mr. Imran, can you hear me?
Yes, hello Jay bhai. Can you hear me too?
Yeah, hello, Imran. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. So for you is a policy making questions. I know you love to
Yeah.
have this sort of policy making and questions, and love to share that the policy issues with us as well as going back to the topic. May I ask you regarding the Bangladesh path to smart solar scale up? So what do you think that the next policy tech convergence will be?
Thank you,
Imran.
Jay bhai. So,
Uh,
at first, I'd like to give a special thanks to Solar Quarter for arranging this fantastic webinar. I hope it will be really helpful for our industry growth. Talking about the policy, I think most of us know that in 2025, the new government introduced a new renewable energy policy, 2025. So, if I want to refer to that policy, I think it was quite excited from one point of view, like the main two key heading, 20% renewable energy generation by 2030, and then 30% by 2041. So if I just highlight the nearest target, that means almost uh, like six or like five, almost 6 gigawatt renewable energy generation by 2030. And currently, as per today's trader data, we have just 1.6 gigawatt. So that means the path is very tough and also obviously long. Like we need to achieve 5 gigawatt renewable energy generation by 2030. So now the question comes like, what will be the way how we can achieve it? Obviously, if we refer the policy, there are some guidelines from the government, but in my understanding, in most of the cases, the wording is like might be, can be, right? So still there are some particular clauses where we see that there is a kind of gray area from the government side to declare it that yes, government can go for this policy. I think from last several years, if we just go back to back to 2 to 3 years, we were seeing that the renewable energy, especially in terms of the project development, both for the rooftop and the utility scale, it was going quite smooth. Like we are predicting a kind of almost like 4 to 5 gigawatt pipeline for the next 5 to 6 years. But when the new government came and especially also took some attempt, especially for the utility scale project, canceling the LOIs of utility scale projects, and then we found that
right.
made a huge impact on the private sector, especially on the foreign developers' interest in Bangladesh. After that, we have seen that government went for like several tenders, almost in total like 4 gigawatt plus, with a new bidding system, which was not basically that much attractive to the global renowned investor. If we see the bidding submission result, we will see that like there were not that much renowned or experienced IPP players who were previously interested in Bangladesh. On the other hand, for the rooftop, yes, recently we have come to know that like our energy advisor has set a great ambition to generate 3,000 megawatt from the rooftop. But still the question comes that whether it is realistic or not. Because generally we know that comparing the residential and the commercial and industrial rooftop project, in each year the maximum generation can be like 300 to 400 megawatt, including all commercial, residential, or the small scale. So how now it is almost end of August. So within 4 to 5 months, how we can achieve this massive target. So, and also the new policy of setting solar panel system in the government building, I think it's a obviously good initiative, but I think there should be a standard procurement policy from the government, whether it is OPEX or the CAPEX. There should be clear guidelines so that like more investor or the EPC contractor can feel to participate in the bidding. In terms of policy, if we refer the recent policy, we'll see some new initiative like government has introduced like the agrovoltaic, also showing interest on the merchant power plant. This is a new initiative, I believe, but still the question will come that the country like Bangladesh, where merchant power plant policy will attract the foreign or the local investor or not. Because now we have a single buyer model, right? I think the overall in terms of the power, like power generation, distribution, transmission and distribution. So we have a single buyer model. So from single buyer model to like the open access model or the private buyer model, I think it will take a certain time for Bangladesh. The developer must need to have that much level of confidence to invest in such merchant power plant project. It's not like that anyone can sign the PPA with a private off-taker and will be ready to invest in a like even 10 to 50 megawatt project. So and also there's some other part of the policy, like we have seen that government has introduced the public-private partnership. Obviously, it is a very highly appreciable policy, but the question comes that how both the private and public sector will come into as a JV model to invest in this project. So that means there should be a proper guideline or how government will select the private investor. Previously, we have seen that some of the utility companies like EGCB, Northwest, they selected the private partner in a kind of unsolicited way. So in some cases, it was solicited. So I think there should be a proper guideline. But most importantly, what I feel that the policy may indicate a big vision, but there should be a proper implementation plan, like at least a year-wise. It can be year-wise bidding plan that yes, both from a utility scale and the rooftop segment, government want to generate at least a certain percentage. Otherwise, maybe from the policy level, we can just have a hope. But in reality, I think the most important part is government should have a year-wise procurement plan and also the implementation plan. And also, I think to reach the renewable energy generation target, there should be a separate monitoring body from the government side. So we have the STRADA, so we have the BPDB, but in most of the cases, I think most of the stakeholder feels that there should be a proper monitoring body who will evaluate the progress and like share the data with public. In terms of investors' confidence, I think it always comes when like we talk about the financing. Okay, so I think in most of the panel session, many people, including my renewable energy industry colleagues, talk about the financing. But from my point of view, when we are talking about the financing, we also need to think about from a lender's point of view. Okay, that whether they are comfortable to take or consider the project as bankable or not. I can share a recent scenario what like the new government are planning to or they are on the way to go for the tariff-free negotiation with those projects where the agreement has already been signed. Some of the projects has already under operational. So I think like this is a kind of very controversial move, which is making Bangladesh rating like downward in front of like global investor or the global financer. Because obviously we know that once the PPA and IA has been signed or the agreement has been signed, neither the investor or the off-taker or the government don't have any right to reduce the tariff. So I think it's a question of the morality that how like government can take such a step. Even I can refer some of the projects which are on the way to take the financing from the international financer like ADB, IFC or other. So when this news reached to the international financer, they were quite surprised that, okay, like we understand that government want to reduce the subsidy, but it doesn't mean that they will kill the investors' confidence. And also, I think it's also important that like government must give such comfort to the foreign lenders to have to make their project bankable. So this is the kind of policies point of view. If I want to talk about some technological uh, related policy, what I think it is very important to shape up Bangladesh renewable energy future. So one key feedback I will always tell that like the asset management. Okay, I think in most of the cases we just consider in the construction phase or the development phase, but if we see globally like how the uh, uh, big foreign investors or the asset operator, how they maintain such big projects like 1 gigawatt, more than 5 gigawatt, right? So obviously, if we see the global trend, obviously they are using the AI technology for the asset management. If I give a very clear example, like in India, like we all know that there is a policy called RTC, round the clock. That means the developer must meet a certain capacity to uh, meet this RTC capacity. So what like many big players like already they established their own AI feature, own AI apps, so which is helping them. For example, like forecasting the weather, then forecasting the like satellite image, then also the AI is helping also them kind of having the historical point of view. So I think, and also AI is very important to maintain the grid stability. Maybe currently, like our renewable energy generation is not kind of like more like 2 gigawatt scale, but obviously like gradually, like when like our renewable energy generation will reach maybe around 2 gigawatt or maybe like 3 gigawatt. So at that time, obviously, like we need to think that how we can maintain the intermittence role or impact of this renewable energy generation. So for this, I think obviously like smart grid maintenance and the AI feature, I think it is the next technology which the project developer or the asset operator must consider in Bangladesh market. Because end of the day, like renewable is not a kind of just construction or the development. So you need to maintain asset, right? You need to give your commitment to the grid operator that yes, like as per PPA or the IA, I must deliver this capacity. So for this, I think like AI will play a big role in coming future. So Jayant, I want to stop here. Thanks. Uh, Jayant, can you hear me?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Imran, for sharing some challenges as well. My question to you, basically, as you are sharing that government already, have a target of, say, let's say 20% renewable should be within this 2030, right? And also
Yes.
there is a target, I should say that there's an ambitious target of having another 3,000 megawatt within the next 6 months. Whereas we
Yes.
all know that Bangladesh, if you say, if we see the last couple of decades, the rooftop so far is only 250 megawatt in total in the rooftop in Bangladesh solar sector. So, and suddenly from 250 megawatt to 3000 megawatt within the next 6 months. Do you think is it realistic or is it achievable? Because having as my personal view is that we all know that, especially in the government offices, hospitals, and educational, religious institutions, we all together, even we do the net metering, it will be 1,500 megawatt. So I'm not sure how will we
Yeah.
be really able to achieve this 3,000 megawatt within the next 6 months. And if we really want to do it, just let us know how we can do it.
I think
Yes,
thanks, Zaid bhai. Obviously, like that,
yeah.
the target is not realistic at all, considering the
Mhm.
trend of rooftop solar generation in Bangladesh from last 5 to 10
Mhm.
years. But still, if we really want to achieve this target or even want to reach in a closer shape, I think government must target the big roof at first. Okay, so it cannot be like in a cluster based. I think if government especially want to target the renewable energy generation from the government buildings at first, the target should be
Yes,
to find the big roof space of the government building. Like we know, like Chittagong Port, Mongla Port, all the port authority,
right,
they have a big roof. So I think rather than targeting the primary school, university, okay, fine, it will work
right.
out, but it will not helpful to speed up the process. So my
And to
suggestion
meet the
would be
target, yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
to target the big roof, and also
Mhm.
like the bidding process should be faster. Maybe government can invite a bidding of 500 kilowatt in a single tender.
Mhm.
That makes sense because I think that you know how complicated in Bangladesh to evaluate the tender,
Yes.
right? So my suggestion
Yeah.
will be to
Also, if sometimes you know that if you want to execute things faster rather than the usual pace, yeah, sometimes the transparency questions will arise
exactly.
that whether actually the bidding is transparent or not, right?
Exactly. So, and also I think bidding is
Mm.
also important. Jayant. I think obviously we'll know that now, like different government organization have different format, right? So I think it is also
Yes.
important that to achieve this target, it can be BPTB or the power ministry can take the responsibility or the SREDA can take the responsibility to make a unified format for the bidding. So no matter who is
Yes.
inviting the tender, they must follow
Yes.
this standard tender document. I think it will be really helpful to attract more bidder in the tender.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thanks for enlightening us. So I would like to go to Mr. Engineer Mohammad Nasiruddin Bishas. He is the head of business development of Rohima Pro Renewable Energy Limited. So, Mr. Nasiruddin, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay. Welcome to this webinar, Mr. Nasiruddin. So, digital upscaling for EPCs, developers, and O&M teams. So, how to identify the emerging digital skill gaps in solar workforce, and how new training, certifications, and platforms can support smarter execution. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Just distinguished guest, respected panelists, and valued participants. Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, and a very welcome to all. It is truly an honor and a privilege to join in this distinguished webinar on technology forecasting and digital solutions of scalable solar growth in Bangladesh. My sincere appreciation goes to the organizers for convening this timely and significant session. So, as you know, Bangladesh today stands at a very crucial juncture in its energy transition journey. with the raising electricity demands and our climate commitments and the government ambitious renewable energy targets that we already discussed upon, solar power is set to play a transformative role in shaping our sustainable future. So in that regard, certainly our capacity must have to be scaled up. So as a part of that, I'm very happy to just share my perspective today on capability building 2.0, mainly focusing digitally upskilling for EPCs, developers, and O&M teams. So first, I would like to tell here one of the big challenges, that is digital disruption in solar. The solar sector is experiencing a very profound transformation, where emerging digital technologies such as AI, IoT, digital twins, and predictive analytics are reshaping the way projects are designed, implemented, and operated. While these disruptions brings immense opportunities for the efficiency, scalability, and smarter design and decision making, they also pose challenges, particularly in terms of workforce readiness, integration costs, and the need for digital upskilling. It is in this balance between challenges and opportunities that the future of solar energy lies. In short, the future of solar depends on how well we equip our workforce to navigate this disruption. So I would like to explain regarding capacity building 1 and at capacity building 2. Capacity building 2 means the next generation approach, especially to workforce development, that is going beyond traditional training and focusing on digital first skills, tools, and practices. So capacity building 2, especially focusing on upskilling, digital upskilling, continuous learning, collaborative ecosystem, cultural shift, and future-ready workforce. So I would like to find out the gaps in emerging digital skill presently in Bangladesh. So we observe across the solar value chain, there we can categorize mainly in 4 domains. For EPC teams, limited expertise, as we observed in advanced design tools like PV system, helioscope, or BIM integration. Secondly, weak exposure to simulation and digital twin modeling, and lack of proficiency with AI-driven project management platforms. So this is what applicable for EPC team. If we look into the same issue and gaps for developers, we will observe that gap is using AI and ML forecasting tools for financial modeling, with capacity in real-time weather and irradiance analytics, limited scenario analysis and risk modeling, and the lack of familiarity with emerging platform. And the third one, for O&M teams, gaps in predictive maintenance. What presently we are doing that is absolutely reactive. So that is where we need to be we need to have the transition from reactive to the predictive maintenance using AI, ML, insufficient training in remote monitoring system, especially in SCADA IoT dashboard, limited knowledge of drone, robotics-based inspection, and cybersecurity is one of the very critical issue, and that is where we have a very clear gap, especially for digital solar assets. And the fourth one, cross-cutting gaps, a lack of data literacy, so automation readiness, and weak digital collaboration skills, and the resistance of shifting from manual to the digital first workflows. So in short, I can tell that the solar workforce is still strong in technical, but with having the conventional skills, but the lagging in digital first capabilities like AI, IoT, analytics, and digital collaboration. So now how we can have the smarter execution to build up capacity to 2.0. So next generation training programs, that is what can be one of the important steps. So I can categorize that into subcategories: simulation-based learning, digital twins, VR labs for design and O&M scenarios, hands-on with digital tools like PVShift, Helioscope, SCADA dashboard and drone operations, AI or ML workshop, predictive maintenance, performance analytics, and yield forecasting, and cybersecurity training, protecting the digital assets and the grid. So the impact will have from this next generation training, workforce gain practical knowledge, job ready digital skills rather than just theory. And next one, the certification pathways, how we can have manage and can get the certification and certify to the people. That is also can be categorized among 2-3, like vendor specific certification, OEM lead training that might be by Huawei, Lonzi, Sangro, and some other vendors. Global reliable certification, we can have some international certification with the digital extension, ACI programs, etc. Digital skill bases, data analytics, IoT integration, digital project management. So once we have that certificate pathways, the impact will be something like creates recognized standard skill benchmark trusted by the employee and the investors. That is what is very much important part presently in Bangladesh, is because we are not getting the confidence from the investors and they are having so many queries at this point in time. So next one, digital learning platform, e-learning and LMS platform, self-paced learning with analytics dashboard. I'm sorry. Collaborative portals like EPC developers, O&M teams sharing digital case studies, and the AI-powered skill trackings, adaptive learning paths customized to each one. So the impact from digital learning platform, that would be continuous, scalable, capacity building versus on-time classroom session. So there might have some digital tools and enablers I can just suggest here. For EPC, BIM, 3D modeling, digital project management, design optimization software. For developers, AI-driven yield forecasting, financial dashboard, digital feasibility modeling. And for O&M team, it's very important and significant. AI ML for predictive maintenance, drone robotics for inspection, real-time monitoring dashboards, SCADA or IoT analytics. Unified digital infrastructure also play a significant role for collaboration and data sharing. Now, what would be the outcome if we have the smarter workforce in place? So we will get digitally skilled GPC. They will have the optimized design and execution speed, informed developers, better yield predictions and risk management, advanced O&M team, predictive maintenance and lower downtime, and unified ecosystem where data-driven collaboration across the stakeholders. So what would be the gateway? There's a ready digital-first solar workforce that enhances perfect reliability, lower cost, and strengthen grid integration readiness. And the overall outcome and impact. The outcomes of this digital-first approach are very much clear to us. Faster project execution and reduced delays, improved forecasting accuracy, and optimized O&M, lower lifecycle cost and reduced downtime, a future-ready workforce supporting grid-ready solar, and very important aspect is that greater investor confidence through reliable project delivery. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude with this thought. Investing in digital upskilling is not simply about training people, it is about future-proofing in the solar sector in Bangladesh. By embracing capacity building 2.0, we can empower our workforce to lead in this era of digital transformation, ensuring that solar energy in Bangladesh is not only scalable, but also sustainable, reliable, and globally competitive. So thank you very much for providing me the chance to share the perspective regarding capacity building. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nasir. Yes, you're right that regarding the driven policy making, forecasting and digital insights can guide us in making smarter investments and designing tariffs that incentive renewable energy adoption. So, and regarding the capacity building with the right training, I think Bangladesh can develop a skilled workforce in solar data analytics, AI-driven energy management, and digital plant operations. So fields that are these fields are also very much in demand in global market. So so I think having said that, we can just to enlarge our discussion since we have some more time. So now I would like to go back to Rana Dasgupta bhai. Can you hear me, Rana bhai?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So another small questions to you. So do you think that our growing ICT ecosystem can support decentralized digital platforms for solar monitoring, creating synergies between the energy and the technology sectors? What do you think?
IPP projects.
Yeah, especially for the IGP projects.
Yeah, it could greatly help, but we don't see any such thing as of today. It will obviously Nasir bhai has told everything about how actually it can help this sector. And recently I did one international performance analysis job. It was in Rajasthan.
Okay.
Yeah, 250 megawatt projects, and there I actually use a big data analysis, tools to do the analysis. So yes, we need this will greatly enhance our performance, as Nasir bhai has rightly pointed out. I mean, digital tools and other data producing tools that you need. I mean, SCADA and all. But yes, we don't have proper technical knowledge about how to use these tools and extract the required data that you need to enhance the performance.
Right.
You're absolutely. I can't agree more. Actually, yes, we badly need to introduce these things.
Yes. So thank you once again, Rana bhai. So let us go back to Engineer Moin Habib bhai, the Executive Director of Engine Engineering Limited. So can you hear me, Moin bhai?
Yes, I can hear you, Jayed bhai. Yeah.
Okay. So Moin bhai, regarding our new RE target, we all know that by 2030 we have to achieve 20%, and by 2040 we have to achieve 30%. So do you think it is achievable? And if you think it is achievable, that what should we need to do? In just share us some your thinking in broader aspects. Yeah.
Exactly. This is ambitious target that I told you earlier even.
Yeah.
And basically when we started since 2015 onwards, that we always try to set up the ambitious target, but we never be able to achieve it. So it is very unfortunate and unlikely, even I would say from EPC point of view, that we said that it is unexpected. What we need to do, because there are lots of problems in the country as of now, and there is the political situation is one of the things, and the regulatory matters is another thing, and the strategy setup is the most important factors here. So, and also the banking loan and so on. In Bangladesh, I could say in the renewable energy sector, what we have seen from our practical experiences, that our bank is not so much favorable. though there is some directive from Bangladesh Bank, 3% interest rate or something, but it never happens. Eventually, I got my experience, from one of the solar project that was around 650 kilowatt peak. I traded a lot, I discussed in Bangladesh 4 banks to get the loan, but there are lots of terms and conditions, they want some, bondage or something to keep in the bank like FDR or so on. But the customer and client, they're never interested on these, and the duties and so on. So customs duties are one of the another factor that we are struggling. We have requested government to look into this recently. One of the things has been changed, reduced. Of course, it is good. By the way, all of the factors are here very important to take care at a go. Not only one thing to resolve, but others are also obstacle there. So I would say that we need to work from BSREA. Definitely, BSREA is working on this. You, Jed, so over there, I did senior vice president. You are working. You are doing a couple of agreement with the things and global event. So we need to explore those things from now onwards very aggressively, and we need to work out with the strategy again with the government to reduce all the duties that we are imposing and the bank facilities that is for the loan that we need to put it to influence our potential clients to get the loan easily with easy terms and conditions, not the mortgage or the bondage. By this way, actually, we can achieve whenever all the things will be placed properly, then we can go ahead to the targets. Okay.
Yes, yes. Let's hope for the best. So now I'd like to ask Mr. Imran. Imran? Are you available? Can you hear me? Imran?
Yes, Jed, I can hear you well. Yeah.
So regarding, as we all know that you are working in the solar utility sector for quite a long time now. So we all know that the government has a target of 3,000 megawatt, as already discussing, for a couple of months. And so, do you think that if the government would be more focused on some solar IPP, especially for the last 1 year, there'll be more ready to build projects in Bangladesh, and maybe it would help us to achieve the actually 3,000 megawatt. What do you think?
No, absolutely, Jayad. Even not only for the Bangladesh. If you see the most of the countries who are on the way to achieve this energy transition by renewable energy, you will see obviously utility scale projects generation curve will always be higher compared to CN and the other. So the country like Bangladesh, even if you refer our current comparison between utility scale solar generation versus rooftop. So out of 1.3 gigawatt total solar generation, so I think 700 is coming from utility scale. So it's a more than almost 70%. So why? Because yes, we could not level up the rooftop or CNI generation from last several years. So to move forward, so I think to achieve the target or to achieve closer to the target, what we need is a balanced generation, both from the IPP project or utility scale project, as well as from the commercial and industrial or maybe distributed generation. But for the IPP project, one important thing is, if I can highlight that, there can be three steps basically what a project developer assume or before he invests into the project. So one is the project development, one is the project construction, and another one is the operation phase. So for the project development, as we all know that currently the new government has terminated or withheld the special act. So only way to develop the project is the developer need to participate in the bidding. So then question comes that whether this bidding or the tender is bankable and how fast government can evaluate or finish the evaluation process. So I think the most important part is, based on the recent tender scenario, we have seen very less interest from the global investor. So we need to check that
Right.
if one or two bidding result come, and if the developer received the maybe like how to say NOAA or the LOI from the government, but still the question will come that how long it will take for them to reach the RTB, that means ready to build. So this is, I think this is one of the very important part of this utility scale project where like the developer or the investor target this. So your RTB stage means that your land is ready, your permit is ready, you have finalized the EPC and also your finance is ready. Then you can start the construction. So that means this 3-4 pillar, I can repeat, like your land is ready, your permit is ready, your EPC contractor is ready, and your financing is ready. So that means, for example, if I assume that, okay, like maybe within next month, 4 or 5 tenders result has been announced. But after that, how long it will take for those developers to reach the RTB stage? Generally, considering Bangladesh market, even based on my experience from my 35 megawatt project and current IBWOC 50 megawatt project, like it will take minimum 2 years. Minimum 2 years for any developer, the country like Bangladesh. Why? Because you need to secure the land, then you need to secure the permit. Okay, then like you also secure, you need to sign the PP or what the PPC as per current condition. After that, basically your timeline will be started that you are starting the construction, and after, and then basically it will take at least 15 months or 18 months for a developer to like achieve the COD. So from my point of view, like obviously if government want to focus more on the IPP project, then they must decide that, okay, like I must make the bidding bankable, and also I must help the project developer, especially to buy the land to comply the local regulation. Even I can share one example that even in our project, like we need to build a transmission line through a forest area, and still after passing 6 months, like we have not received the clearance from the concerned government authority. So and also another one point I really like to highlight that like the financing, like maybe by book or by I mean from theoretical point of view it sounds very fine that okay, like the bank is ready for financing, right? We all know that, but honestly when you will go to the bank, you will submit your project, you will show your financial modeling, like trust me, like it is not easy journey. Okay, so bank will calculate each and every part of your project, and especially like if you are taking a construction finance, like you have to submit your corporate guarantee, so the bank collateral, like what is the bank security. So I think considering all this is very important, especially for the IPP project, that whoever is financing, it can be ADB, IFC, or the local bank, they must say that the project is bankable. Okay, and otherwise it is very tough for the project investor. And also in terms of tariff, I think what I'd like to highlight that I think it's a kind of controversial uh, scenario that we have seen, like from media level, on the government level, most of the people think the Bangladesh tariff is super high. Well, like, so at first you need to consider what is your cost of production, right? Your cost of electricity production is 9 cents, right? You cannot sell the electricity in 7 cents. It makes sense. It's a very general. Okay, so I think it's also need to be understood very clearly
Cost of the
that
land, cost of the land, yeah.
exactly. So the cost of the project, if I say the capex, opex, the capex in Bangladesh is really high. And trust me, like for a 50 megawatt project, if a developer want to reach the ready to build stage, he must spend at least 10 million. After that, he can start the construction. So that means putting the equity of 10 million in a project, it's not an easy journey in the country like Bangladesh. So government must think about this. And if government can reduce the capex, like arranging the land, arranging the transmission line, then I think we can really hope that we can speed up the IPP project execution in a smoother way within next 2 or 3 years. Thanks, Jayad bhai. I think
Yes.
that will keep on.
Yeah. Thank you. Once again, Imran. Uh, so you're right. I should say you're 100% correct that government need to do something to bring back the confidence of the investors, especially for the last 1.5 years. We have seen many projects was about to start. As you said, the ready-to-build projects were supposed to be start by this time, and maybe a few other projects was in the solar IPP. By this time, maybe those would have been in the COD. But we have seen 34 projects has been unofficially cancelled or halted by the government, and which has already created a huge confidence, lack of confidence within the investors. So that confidence we need to bring back again. And probably due to this, when the government, especially for the last few months, called for the open tender method, we have seen very less participations in those bidding. So we hope that government will take these issues into their considerations, and hopefully in near future government will do something so that as you said also that it takes huge effort, to get an approval for solar
Exactly.
power plant approval in Bangladesh. It takes at least 2 years.
2
So
years, and then land securing
you have to
another
approach
challenge.
land acquiring everything. Yeah. So and to get the paper, just the paper to you, it takes almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, they get the final approval. So
Yeah.
there are some interministerial issues are there. So all the issues are then you solve, and then you able finally when you get an approval and suddenly it has been stopped with an unknown reason. It creates confusion, and as I said, the lack of confusion,
I think,
confidence among the
Jayad
investors.
bhai,
Yeah,
in a summary, I just want to
yeah.
paint in this
Please.
way that it is highly important that we need the investors' confidence back to invest more in
Exactly. Yeah.
Bangladesh. So in a summary, I think this is the bold point. What I
Yeah,
want
this
to
is the whole point. Yeah. So thank you, Imran. So now going back again to the 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 topics of today's webinar, which was technology forecasting and digital solutions for scalable solar growth in Bangladesh. So let us conclude, and before I conclude, I would like to thank all the speakers for sharing their valuable thoughts. And before I conclude, I would like to say that future of solar in Bangladesh will not be defined by how many panels we install, but by how intelligently we can manage them. Digital solutions and accurate forecasting are not add-ons; they are essential enablers to scalable solar growth. If we harness the power of data, AI, and digital platforms, we can transform solar from one intermittent resource into a reliable backbone of our energy system. And in doing so, Bangladesh can not only achieve its renewable energy targets, but also emerge as a regional leader in digital energy innovation. So thank you once again. Thank you very much to the organizer, Solar Quarter. And again, all the audience from here, I'm Zaidul signing off. And wish you all in Bangladesh, for tomorrow is the holiday. So, have a nice weekend from my side. Over to the webinar authority, please. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alam.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Slagota. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Alam, for expertly
Have a nice-
moderating such a meaningful and insightful discussion. The webinar is not yet over. We still have some questions that have been posted by our live audience, although we do not have time to take up all of them. I'll just be screening a couple of them now. So one of the first questions that was posted is, how can we ensure that digital and solar innovations are applied with fairness and justice, serving not only profit but also the broader community as guided by the Quran's call to balance and justice?
So, is there anyone among the speakers would like to take the question? Maybe Imran, are you still
Sorry,
there?
probably I could not catch that. Can anyone repeat again?
Yeah, please repeat the question. Yeah.
How can we ensure that digital and solar innovations are applied with fairness and justice, serving not only profit but also the broader community?
Yeah, so that's, I think, that was the key discussion point in today's meeting, that to move forward, okay, go to scale up our renewable energy generation, obviously we have to keep the balance with all the latest technologies, what the rest of the world is following, right? Even if we consider the other developers in neighbor countries like in India, Vietnam,
Right.
and others. In terms of like transparency, I think the most important part is also like how government is flexible, like how government is flexible, or how much government is showing the cooperation to the private sector to adopt these technologies. For example, like I am the investor, right? If I want to adopt this type of technology in my project, that means in some cases, obviously, my cost of electricity production could be higher, right? So that means government also need to understand it, and also like government must include, for example, if government mention in the bidding document that like they must want, for example, for the asset management, if they mention that, okay, like the developer must use the AI technology so that like government can, or the grid operator can like make the, like the load shedding or the demand or the generation part smoothly. So I think it is a balance between both the private sector and the public sector or the government interest. Okay, then like we can see that this type of technology is being used in near future in Bangladesh.
Can I chip in? I mean,
Sure, sir, go ahead.
okay. So
Sure.
the question says that how can we ensure that digital and solar innovations are applied with fairness, and justice? I mean, digital and solar innovations are obviously, and for the, we use digital platform so that we can reduce, we can increase the fairness actually. And the question, I don't know, in the light of Quran, if you say, I mean, for the Ummah, it's not for a broader, it says a broader community, and in bracket it says Ummah. So by definition, Ummah is only limited to one community, but for us, we are actually working for the whole, I mean, a whole nation and whole population of the world. So, and that's the reason why actually, I mean, what you call, I mean, we need these for fairness. We need more digital platforms to, and the innovations that we see in solar sector, like I mean, increasing efficiency and the less price for balance of systems. All these are for for the humankind, if I'm not wrong, right? So I think this answers the question. This answers the questions, I'm sure.
Yes. I think you are right.
In the light of Quran, if you say.
Yes. Fairness and transparency all are in line with the Quran, and we should.
Exactly,
So
absolutely.
we are still, yes. So any other questions, or we should sign off for today, because it's already 1.5 hours now.
Yes,
So
sir. We do have
yes,
more questions. However, we do not have the time to answer. Probably the audience can visit during the Clean Energy Week Bangladesh and get a chance to meet our panelists there as well. So,
Yes, looking forward to, yes.
so as we draw today's session to a close, I'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to all our speakers and attendees. We hope today's conversations have sparked new ideas, built connections, and inspired a renewed commitment toward advancing solar energy in Bangladesh. But this is
Yeah.
just the beginning, and we invite you once again to be part of the Bangladesh Clean Energy Week to 2025, taking place on September 23rd in the Western Dhaka, Bangladesh. So let's continue this journey together toward a more sustainable, resilient, and energy secure Bangladesh. Thank you once again, and until next
Thank you.
time, stay sustainable and stay inspired.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you
you
so
very
much.
much.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
Thank you very much.